Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. This evening's topic: mental and psychological issues can affect physical health. Mental and psychological issues can affect physical health. Now, I've been doing mental and psychological issues for basically a month. Very interesting topics. In fact, all of the symptoms that I've talked about were from different disorders, such as a bipolar disorder, a narcissistic disorder, anxieties, eating disorders, to name a few. Now, the reason why this topic is very important because I believe it is the root cause of societies failing. Now, when I talk about societies as an African American, I just don't talk about the African American sector because we all live in one country. The human race. The problem with the human race in this country is a number of us have some type of disorder. Now, I can tell you, I had my disorders, like I had anger issues. And I had another disorder that I talked about, and it was an obsessive personality disorder. Now, what that is, and I did the video last night, it's where I wanted everything to be perfect in my mind, but I knew that that doesn't exist. I wanted to take control of everything. I didn't have any trust in individuals because I didn't give them an opportunity. And everything I did was all about work and no play. So once I read the information about this disorder, I began to level off a little bit because what was happening to me, I was becoming more stressed, aggravated, impatient, and then I started to get the narcissistic disorder with inside me where it all had to be about me. Now, if I didn't know any better, I'd have been a person who failed in life. But see, I let my pride down and educated myself and got help from professionals. And see, when I do these videos, I have the gumption enough to tell you where I have set when it comes to mental and psychological disorders. In fact, a number of us don't know that we have them until you study the behavior. This is why I recognize different behaviors in individuals, because none of us are perfect. I don't care what your position in life is. Mental and psychological disorders cause health problems. Some of the health problems that are caused are diabetes. Now, how does diabetes relate to mental and psychological disorders? Very, very simple. Diabetes comes from eating a lot of sugar or bad carbs. Okay, let me dig deeper. Comes from excessive eating because most of us, when we overeat because we are stressed and what we eat is never good. Now, that being said, there's also a chance that we're eating foods that are high in saturated fats. What happens with saturated fats? They can clog your arteries. That can lead to a possible heart attack. Then there are other diseases that are involved. like cancer. That can come from some disorders as well. Also, don't forget about strokes and stress. These are all health functions that can literally kill us. So, what is the solution? The only solution that I can give you with any type of disorders when it comes to you as an individual, it's about how are you going to manage them? And see, you can call any health professional, but it's basically the individual's job to understand that they have the symptom. Of course, there are numbers of treatments such as psychotherapy and medication. Now, again, with medication, I just believe that we as a society are over medicated, and medication isn't really helping. It's giving us the perception that it's helping, but what we're doing, we're just going back, buying more and more medication because we're addicted to it. And of course, the pharmaceutical companies are addicted to the money that we pay for drugs. It's $1 billion industry. And at the end of the day, the problem is not solved. So instead of being overly medicated, there are things that you can do that are cost effective. If you understand hypnosis, holistic healing, meditating, because you have to get all of the toxins out of your mind. And with all these mental and psychological disorders, they also lower self-esteem. They make us angry. And these are feelings that we don't need when we are trying to survive in the real world. It's very competitive out here. But the main problem is our minds are influenced by a lot of bad material or propaganda that's around us. Some of the propaganda, you look at the news, you listen to some of the music. We have a society that is hell-bent on sex. I mean, sex really sells in this country. Drama sells in this country. These are areas that we don't need to have in our mind because it corrupts us. And believe it or not, money also corrupts us. Have you ever heard of the saying that money will turn a good person evil? Well, that's true because we allow it to do that. And all these influences around us are very powerful. This is why the stress rate, and I call stress a silent killer because we get it from everywhere. We have families that are stressing us out, our jobs that are stressing us out, and these are psychological and mental disorders that lead to those strokes, the diabetes, the first and second stage hypertension of high blood pressure, the clogged arteries, the diabetes. These are the areas that keep us from actually moving forward as a society. Because if your mind isn't cleansed from all of the propaganda and the evil and the temptation that we're filled with on a daily basis, then there is absolutely no way we can produce. Why? Because we're allowing ourselves to be controlled. This is why you have to be a non-conformist. See, right now, this country is set up on not producing, but it's based off of conforming. It's what sounds good. And if we're not careful, we can lose our society just as the Romans did. Now, when it comes to mental and psychological disorders, they've always been there. In other words, they're not new. We've just been in the last 20 years a little better with technology to detect them much faster. But mental and psychological issues, every generation, it's a cycle. Now, some of these mental and psychological illnesses also lead to poverty, homelessness. Now, people don't talk or think about this. Loss of job, even a loss of life. But it's very serious. And sometimes when we are not at our best, we have people who kick us when we're down. They destroy our psyche. And this is why you have some people with anger issues. I don't know how many murder-suicides that I've heard about here in 2017 and how many kids get kidnapped. In fact, this morning, and I live a long way from it, there was a Amber Alert. Because you can get Amber Alerts on your phone anywhere in the state. It was in Columbus, Indiana. Now, if anybody's familiar with Indiana, Columbus, Indiana is south of Indianapolis. In fact, it's in between Indianapolis and Louisville, Kentucky. There was also another child missing from Gary, Indiana. Of course, you had the 1-year-old that was found dead in Illinois. All of these behaviors have to be taken into account when it comes to missing children, murder, suicides. And folks, a number of individuals do have problems, serious problems. These are nothing to play with. Now, I got into dealing with mental health issues, number one, because I actually learned more about myself and others. And now I'm much clearer to understand why some individuals have the attitudes, because they come from the past. And if you don't fix what you had in the past as far as your mental and psychological health issues, you're going to destroy yourself as well as others. Now, you might not destroy them physically, but you can destroy somebody psychologically. So all I'm saying is, when it comes to your health, you could be doing everything correctly with the dieting, but you have to make sure that your mind is clear. That's why meditation, hypnosis, any type of relaxation techniques that you can come up with to rid your mind of all the poison that is making you corrupt on a daily basis. Because, again, there are a lot of temptations in the real world. But a person, again, who has a strong mind is not going to allow themselves to be indoctrinated or corrupted. So what I'm urging most people to do, get yourself checked out. even if you don't think you have a mental or psychological disorder, you don't know. Because a number of people who have mental and psychological disorders are perfectly normal until they're diagnosed. So you know anybody besides yourself who has any disorder, try to get them help. Because there is so much going on around us and it's happening at a very fast rate. This is why I talk so much about these disorders. Because at the end of the day, mental and psychological disorders can influence health defects like heart disease, stroke, heart attacks, and other diseases such as diabetes and high blood pressure. So please, take time, get yourself checked out. And I want everybody to like this video because this is good educational content that I am putting out because it's serious. I know a number of us think education is boring. It's not. It's a good learning tool. And if you understand what's going on with education, not indoctrination, but education, you can rid yourself of all of the corruption. Because remember, the mind responds to positivity. That's evolution. Negativity is not evolution. You stay stuck where you are. And this is where you pick up all the stresses, the strokes. Now, granted, there are exceptions to the rule, but I'm speaking on a general case. Because when something is general, it's basically true for the majority of us. So, rid your mind of all of the corruption. You'll grow. If you don't, you'll stay where you are. But even if you aren't growing right now, you can grow. But the education and the help depends on you as an individual. Because your mind is God's gift. And with the mind, you can go through a number of journeys. This is where inventions have come from science, designs from engineering, accounting. God's gift is the mind. If you use it properly, you will continue to grow. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, Sunday, May 21st, 2017. You can tune in to the 401 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. It's a great show yesterday that I did on narcissism. If you missed that show, it's archived. You can click on the link under my video to my Facebook page, or you could go to the 401 Talk Zone radio show link on Blog Talk Radio. You'll find the archive show. And I suggest you listen to the show because Brother Andrew Benjamin, who was a master at narcissism, gave an in-depth commentary. You'll learn a lot from him. So, have good topics coming up in the future. But if you want to get on the show, the guest calling number is 215-383-5785. If you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on my channel, I don't get into emotional issues, controversial issues, nor do I debate. Also, I don't participate in drama or unnecessary bickering because it's counterproductive. What I'm here to do is educate you from the knowledge that I research and my own experiences. So number one, you don't make the same mistakes that I did. And number two, you can learn how to survive in the real world, because I'm giving you the tool so you can apply it, but it's realistic and it's positive. And that's what I do here on this channel. I'll keep everything positive because most of what you get in today's world is all negative. And our minds have been trained to be skeptical. Now, there are times you need to be skeptical and mistrusting. But there are other times that you need to be positive because you want to be able to grow, not stay where you are. And you must understand that knowledge is power. Also, if you have a business, a topic, or a new YouTube channel that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, just email me at lej6521@gmail.com. Let me repeat that again. If you have a business, a topic, or a new YouTube channel that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, you can email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave your comment in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy. No bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering if you wish to opine. Now that's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other, and have a wonderful and blessed evening.